otherwise known on Ravelry and Instagram as Scrapfaire, and you can always email me at scrapfaire@gmail.com. Well, first of all, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I apologize for being gone for several months. I believe it was almost summertime. Last year I was about to go away for a July vacation the last time I podcast, and a lot has happened since then. I would also like to say that for any new viewers, welcome. Thanks for stopping to check me out. I'm really glad you stopped by. This podcast is for any person who's interested to join along. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what race you are. I don't care if you're male or female. I don't care if you identify as other than what people, I don't care how you present. I don't know how to say that and be clear, so I apologize. I do have many people in my personal life who are differently gendered or different races, and I am in a constant state of learning, and people are in a state of flux. So however you would like for me to refer to you, just tell me, and that's how I will refer to you from now on. And I hope that you feel welcome here. And if I make any errors or make you uncomfortable by something that I say, I hope that you feel comfortable enough to tell me. And you are always welcome to watch. And if you don't believe that way, you're always welcome to unsubscribe. So, like I said, everyone is welcome. If you're going to be negative and be rude, then you don't need to be here, because that's not what I'm about. That being said, it has been several months since my last podcast. And I don't know if I mentioned, I'm sure that I did, that last January we moved my mother-in-law, my husband's mother, to Virginia. She has lived all of her life in New York, and most of it I think in Queens, if not all of it. I mean, she used to work in the city, but and that has been very challenging on many levels. She did break her hip this year. She was in the hospital and then in rehab for a very long time, and that unfortunately took time away from some other things, and the podcast was one of them. My husband was out of work for several months this year. After my surgery in the spring, I had gallbladder surgery, and it was fine. The surgery went really well. I expected recovery to be much faster, and personally, I still don't feel like I'm as healthy as I was before I ever went in, but I am taking steps now to exercise more and get out and try to help that. I have just recently gotten over a really bad cold, and I feel like I sound terrible and my head's still a little stuffy, so forgive the way I sound. I'm a little bit hoarse, and I do have some water that I'm gonna need. I am in a different location than I have ever podcasted in before. We, as part of our year of everything is gonna happen in 2018, good and bad, we bought a house in Reston. So we moved from Alexandria, Virginia to Reston, Virginia, to a 3-bedroom house, and I love it. This is the guest room that we're in now, and I just yesterday put up my yarn wall. I'd had these in our previous house in Alexandria. Only one of them housed yarn then, and I had yarn stashed in other places in the house. It's not all in the yarn wall right now, and there are 2 cubbies that are just acting as the bedside table because this is the guest room. There's a full-size bed over here on this side, and we got new flooring in the house and all the bedrooms and on the main level just last week. So I have tossed my stash a couple of times already in 2019, and after tossing it at the end of the year in 2018, I didn't say, but we moved in October of 2018 to where we are now. It is just a little bit longer of a commute for me to work, but that's okay. There is public transportation I can take, and we're getting ready to move my mother-in-law from where she is to another place. And as soon as we get all that sorted out, I will be taking public transportation. It's just a little bit challenging from where I work and where my spouse works right now. If we should need to get to her quickly, which we have needed to a couple of times if I don't drive myself right now. But all that aside, thanks for sticking through that. That was a lot, you guys. I realized that was a lot. And I always say I have the tiniest podcast in the world, so feel free to jump in with comments, or if you also have an aging parent, shout out to you. That is something else. So I mentioned that I was wearing this James pullover by Devon Ventry. I really hope I'm saying her name correctly. She's knitting McPurley. I knit mine out of Barrett wool. I was one of the test knitters for this pattern. Sorry, there's going to be some cough breaks in here. So I knit the size 46, and there's a good bit of positive ease in the sweater. So next time I would probably knit it in a size smaller. That being said, I wear it all the time. I did not do the best job in finishing, and I'm not going to point out my finishing mistakes. I actually went to Vogue Knitting Live last weekend. Let me just say today is February the 3rd. I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd. Yeah, it's Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday, February 3rd. And I did go to Vogue Knitting Live last weekend. One of my sweet podcast viewers and Instagram followers specifically requested that I share my haul. So I will do that in just a minute. But it was nice because they were finishing putting my floors down and I didn't have to be here. I went ahead to Vogue Knitting Live. I left Thursday evening and was there through Sunday. I took the bus from Arlington, Virginia to New York. The bus dropped me off, I think it's 6 blocks from the hotel. It might have been a little more. Can't remember now. I stayed at the Marriott Marquis, which is where Vogue Knitting Live is held. And it was great. I took a class on finishing. It was 2 class times. It was pretty much all day Friday. It was like 9 until 12 and then 2 until 5. That was with Alana Dakos from Never Not Knitting. She had a podcast for, I believe it was 8 years. She does not currently podcast, but she does have an online store, and currently there is a retail store in California where she sells beautiful yarn and beautiful accessories for knitting accoutrement. But she does really beautiful finishing, and I took a class. Basically, we knit a baby sweater, and we almost finished finishing it in class. I didn't finish the second sleeve and second side, so I'm going to try to finish that up before my next podcast and share with you, because truly I was impressed. And this is a baby sweater that I knit in a super big hurry because, you know, I didn't have time to knit it before Christmas, and then after Christmas it was kind of a mad dash to finish up some things and knit the baby sweater for class. So I finished it midnight the night before my Friday class, and I steam blocked it that morning to make sewing it together easier, and I'm super glad I steam blocked it. I didn't really have time to wet block it, and someone told me I could have wet blocked it and then used a hairdryer, but I was fine with steam blocking. There was an iron in the room, and so I did it, and it looks so much better than I thought it would, because I didn't really care if this ever goes to a baby, but if the second side that I finish all by myself looks as good as the stuff I finished in class, it's going to be great. I do have some finished items to show you other than my sweater. This is, oh gosh, I just went blank, so I'm going to put it on the screen. This is one of the New York collection hats by Knitting Expat, and yeah, it has these little, sorry, it has these little eyelets in the front. This was my favorite one, and I have knit, you guys, all but one of those hats, and I have the yarn wound to knit the last one. I gave a lot of them as gifts over the holiday season, and I did try very hard to finish it, finish all of them before the end of the year, but I didn't make it. And once I didn't make it, I just started something else, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this was the hat that I kept for me. So sorry. As I was saying, this is the hat that I kept for me. It is knit out of Lolodidit in the Naughty Mrs. Claus colorway. And that's blue. It looks black, but I believe that's navy. Yeah, it's navy blue in the speckling. I love this colorway. It's like red, pink, and blue. And it makes me think of those funny, you know, 90s with the boas and stuff on them. And this pom-pom, bless its heart, you guys, it's been rained on several times. This is like the hat I have been wearing. And Mina does great on her hat sizing. I did something wrong with this hat, and I'm probably going to reknit it. Like, probably going to rip this out and reknit it. But it's been cold here, yo, and I've been wearing it. The ribbing is a little looser than I would like, but it does come down nice over my ears. But I forgot to do my ribbing on a smaller needle size. That was all me. It was nothing with the pattern. The pattern was perfect. I knit it, I think, exactly to the length in the pattern. And then I got this pom-pom from Bunny Badger Fibers. And like I said, this poor thing has been rained on a couple of times, so I probably need to take a blow dry to it to refluff it. And I've used the very pink Knits method of threading it through a giant button that I got from Joann's. But the pom-pom comes with these really long strings, and then when you do it with the button like that, you can just take it off, and then I can wash my hat, which I should probably do. Anyway, so that was a finished object, and then this was also a test knit finished object, but from the fall. And then Kemper from Junkyarn came out with this big pixel hat that I test knit. This is the per pattern large size. It is knit to gauge and to pattern, and I used the colors Indira, which is, this is my favorite color I've ever seen of Junkyarn. I have no idea why I'm so obsessed with this greeny yellow. It's greener in person than I thought it was from looking at it online. And it has all those beautiful dark green speckles. The orange, I believe, is called Fireside. I'll put that on the screen for you. I'm so sorry. I always forget what the orange one is called. But that's not, this is a bulky hat. She didn't actually have a bulky solid left when I went to buy my Junkyarn to do the test knit. So this is just a fingering weight yarn, her fingering base, and I held it triple stranded to make a bulky, and it worked perfectly. And then this is Marie Laveau. The purple is Marie Laveau. I love it. Look at those colors. It's just stunning. So I knit this one per the pattern. The pattern is, it has instructions to make it a slouchy hat, but as written, it comes beanie. I find this a little too tight to be comfortable, and it may be that most of the ribbing on my hats is looser. I don't know. My personal preference did not enjoy the tightness, the snugness of the hat as written to pattern, so I told Kemper, and then I wrote in my notes. I apologize. I'm going to try to cut out some of this throat clearing, you guys, but I haven't talked this much in a really long time. So I actually knit this hat about 3 times. Before I blocked it, I could just barely get this on my head. So block your hats, people. If you're having trouble, if the ribbing seems too snug, block it. Because now I can get it on and it's not uncomfortable. But before blocking, whew, I had to rinse my tension out of there. I don't know. Anyway, so I reknit it, but I added 4 stitches to the cast on. The only change I made was added 4 stitches to the cast on. Because in a certain part of the pattern, you add another number of stitches. I did that even after I added the 4 to the cast on. So if you knit the pattern and it's too snug, or you think it's uncomfortably snug, or your head is 22.5 inches around, which is the size of my head. I feel like I have a giant head for a lady, but maybe not. Add 4 stitches if you're knitting with the same needle size to get her gauge, because that's what I did. And then I changed the colors up because I'd knit this progression 3 times. I was like, okay, so I'm actually going to have more than one hat here. This one's to pattern beanie style. This one I threw in the extra rows to make it a slouch, and this is the one I love to wear. I love that pom-pom, you guys. I made that. It's a little floppy. I really need to tighten it up. There we go. But it also has the button and the strings. And these are just giant buttons I got at Joann's, but it does need to be tied on tighter. And I will show you how the slouchy version looks. Okay. How cute is that? There's pictures on Instagram. I do have a pattern page on Ravelry where I did put the instructions for adding the 4 extra stitches. And like I said, that is the only thing I did. And I test knit it, so I knit it per the pattern. And then because it was uncomfortable for me to wear, I added the 4 stitches, and I told Kemper about it, and she said she would make a note in the final pattern that says it's a very snug fitting hat. So that was great, and I really enjoyed it. And really, I bought 3 skeins of yarn from Kemper, 2 bulky weight skeins in Marie Laveau and Indira, and then the one, I really hope it's Fireside. I don't know where my label is right now, but the one orange. And I have enough yarn left to make at least one more hat with a pom-pom. So know if you knit that hat in bulky yarn, you can knit several hats. So it's, you know, it's hand-dyed yarn. It's not a cheap hat, but it's a really nice hat. And if you already have Junkyarn in fingering weight, then you can go ahead and just hold it triple stranded. What I did was I used a scale, and I made 3 cakes, and I just, you know, pulled from the 3 cakes and held it together. I also have some washcloths because last year I said I was going to do the Yarn Hoarder Dishcloth Challenge, and I think last year I knit 1 washcloth. I may not have even knit a whole washcloth, but I did 5 for January, so there's 3 in this color because I had 2 balls of this color. So I've knit 3. And this is just sugar and cream from what was on sale at Michael's. I'm sorry, I don't have the labels, so I can't tell you what they were. It's just sugar and cream yarn. I got it at Michael's. It was on sale. Same needles, same sugar and cream yarn. One of these I knit on the same day as I knit another one of these. This is also, I knit 2 in this color, which I like a lot. And this is Grandma's favorite dishcloth, I think. It's whatever, it's the same one Amber knits. And I think I knit them on a size 8, but I think I'll go up for the next ones because they're not quite as big. I have some washcloths that I love that someone knit and sent to me in my very first swap on Ravelry, and I use them every day. And I have never knit any that I personally have liked as much, so I'm working on it. We're going to use these here at the house, but I'm hoping to knit 52. I've already had a cousin say, I need some, and I'm like, just send me your address. I can go ahead and send you some right now. You just tell me which ones you want. But I have in my stash, as you do, I've got a little bag, a little plastic bag full of Dishy and sugar and cream. I bought the Dishy. They have some sort of, I can't remember if it's called pansies or roses, but it's like a dishcloth, a pot holder maybe, and a kitchen towel, and it's, I bought enough to make that, so who knows, I may or may not make that, but I'm definitely making more washcloths. And y'all, that sugar and cream, if you live near Michael's or Joann's, it goes on sale all the time. Don't pay full price, at least use your coupon. I mean, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, I just don't want you to overpay. I think Walmart has a brand too. I don't really have a Walmart that I shop at around here, but I'm pretty sure Amber talks about getting sugar and cream or peaches and cream or whatever it is. Mine is sugar and cream, but I know there's another brand of kitchen cotton that's not very expensive. You can get at big box stores. I received 2 beautiful gifts over the holidays from my friend Mel. Hey Mel, I know you're watching. And I'm pretty sure this was a Christmas present. This might have been a birthday present, but She knit me the shawl, and I don't know the name of it, but I'll show it to you. It's, you know, it's like the perfect size shawl. It's flipping up a little bit. I wear this all the time, y'all. It's been super cold here, and my favorite way to wear it is like this. And usually when it's cold, like my office is a little cool. I have a huge window. I'm very fortunate to have a huge window. But I wear it up here, and this, the brown, I think she said, is alpaca. Some natural alpaca. And so this thing is so warm, and I love it. And I wear it almost every day right now. So thank you, Mel. Like I said, it's just perfect. It is absolutely perfect for keeping your neck warm. And she knit me a bobble hat. Y'all, I love this hat. It's so pretty. So pretty. And I'm not gonna lie, I have yarn in my stash to knit myself a bobble hat, but I have not done it. So I'm so happy to have one to wear. And then I mentioned Bunny Badger Fibers, and I want to show you because she had a sale around the holidays. I don't remember if it was an end of the year sale or a Christmas sale, but because I was knitting so many hats around Christmas time, I ordered. She actually sent me one of these, I believe was a gift because I had ordered so many. And I have used some of them, but some of them I have not used. I'm going to show you the ones I bought from her. Oh, and I bought some to gift. This is her card. Bunny, where's my, I'm sorry. Bunny Badger Fibers. I bought these. Look at this. Look how beautiful. Okay, so this one I think is the most beautiful colors in the world, and I actually gifted one of these. I had knit my friend a hat, and after I knit the hat, I had gotten some pom-poms, and I was like, oh, if I'd had this when I sent the hat, I probably would have went ahead and just put this on it, but I didn't. So look at that. It's like gray and orange and reddish purple. I don't know. This to me is the most beautiful pom-pom. And if you zap these with a hairdryer, they get much fluffier and cuter. So, but these live in a box right now until they go on hats. And I originally wanted this big fluffy white one for my Naughty Santa hat, Naughty Mrs. Claus hat. But when I got them, I really liked the gray one, so I can change it out if I want to. She has, she makes these. They're so cool. They're all faux fur, of course. This is like a husky fur. Again, before you put them on your hat, zap them with a blow dryer. The heat makes the hairs look so much better. But I couldn't be bothered to do that, to leave them in storage. I have a black badgery pom-pom. And I really want to knit that brioche hat. I'm pretty sure it's by Andrea Mowry. Harlow hat's what it's called. I really want to knit that hat. I have yarn that I want to, well, I want to use the spin cycle in the Hufflepuff colorways. And I have some other Huffly Puffly speckledy yarn that I want to use to make it. I call this the Muppet Pom-Pom because it looks like it's made out of Muppets. Isn't it awesome, you guys? Okay, sorry. I am digressing badly. Oh, and then this one I think is lovely. Again, they look much better after you zap them with a blow dryer. And then there was, look at her logo, you guys. So there was a sparkly one, so I got it. This one is small, but it's mighty sparkly, so it needs a hat. I actually, yeah, and it comes with care instructions. It says hand wash, cool water, refluff with hair dryer. Her name is Renee Jones. So Renee has the best pom-poms. I had a hard time. I had bought a few pom-poms last year and had in my stash, but you know, when you knit a hat, you need the pom-pom right then, especially if you want to gift it. And hats are the best gifts. Okay. So what am I working on now? You might be wondering. I am working on the Ryder sorry. I am working on, it's called the Ryder Pullover. I have a stitch marker. This is from, is it Molly Klein Designs? I think so. I'll put where I got my stitch marker, because it looks like the ones from Tilting Planets, but when I went to buy one from Tilting Planets, she did not have one in the color that I wanted, but I have these in several colors. I'm going to be really embarrassed. It's not Molly Klein. Okay. I'm back. Sorry, I can't wear a hat. It's making me too warm and it's making me cough. But anyway, okay, so the Ryder Pullover. I really want to go ahead and finish the neckline, because I'm one of those terrible people who never ever reads all of the directions on their knitting patterns before they start. And so the neck is almost finished. I just need 2 inches. It's a little funnel looking neck, and it just stockinette roll over at the top. And it's a very plain pullover. There's 4 inches of ribbing at the bottom, and then there's 4 inches of 3x1 ribbing on the sleeves. And I am this far on the first sleeve. It's in a take-along bag. This is a bag by Lolodidit. It's a couple of years old, so she doesn't currently have those. But so I have this much of sleeve 1, and when I finish this, I'll just need to do sleeve 2. Oh, and let me tell you, I took a class on, it's basically a pattern hack class. It was Pattern Maths by Mina Phillip, who is the knitting expat. She is so delightful. I had met her a couple of times at previous Vogue knitting lives. Sorry, just realized I got super fast because I'm excited. But her pattern maths class was amazing. I have a really hard time remembering which way it goes. Like if I have more stitches, is it too big or too small? Her class is amazing. Totally cleared that up, and we did practice problems, you guys. Practice problems. So thanks to Mina, because you know I have only knit this one. I've knit this full sweater, you know, with sleeves, and then I've knit a sleeveless summer top, which is the Water Lily. If you've seen probably my last episode, I added on. So I am very green or very new to knitting sleeves. So she basically said you talked about doing the increases yourself, and so I've actually marked my increases with these stitch markers, and I think I have one more. I have to count them, but I have one more increase I think to do before I'll be at the final number, which is different from the pattern. That's okay, and I'll have notes on my project page on Ravelry. And this yarn, you guys, this is John Arbon Textiles, knit by Numbers DK. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see. This is not my normal setup at all. And yeah, it's showing very good color. Like there's a little bit of a yellow cast because I have some light bulbs on because it's late in the afternoon, but it's this color. My husband says it's purple and I say it's pink. It's in 68. Nope, it's in 63. KBN 63, knit by Numbers 63, not 68. And I bought this yarn when we were in London, more than a year ago. Actually, it didn't come from London. This particular yarn came from Bath when I was at a yarn story, because I have 1 skein of yarn, 2 skeins of yarn that came from London, from a little shop. But the rest of it came from when I went to a yarn story. I bought a sweaters quantity. And I bought some buttons. I don't know where they are right now. They're somewhere. Probably in a cabinet across the room from me where all my knitting bags are. But anyway, so I'm getting really close on this sweater, and my husband told my mother-in-law at our visit today that when we came next time I would have a finished sweater, so I feel a lot of pressure now to finish this by next week, as it is my main knitting right now. That might happen. I'm sorry if that sounded gross. I'll try to only drink when I can cut it out. You don't have to listen to it. So that's what I'm working on. I have one more work in progress here because I have socks that live at work. I have 2 emergency balls of sock yarn at work in a drawer with needles. One has an actual leg of a sock on it. I'm pretty sure it's ready for a heel, so I should bring it home so I can give it a heel. But I have learned that if I don't have knitting, something happens and I have spare time at work and I can't just answer the phones. Like, I need something to do. And it's kind of silly right now because it's tax season and that is our busy time. I work in a tax office, but if I don't have the knitting there, if I can't touch the yarn, if I feel like I need to touch the yarn, it's bad, you guys. I have to have it with me. One of the things that I bought, and I actually bought this before I went to Vogue Knitting Live. This is a Yarn Over New York sock blank. The sweet dyer, whose name I can't remember right now. I'm so sorry. She lives and dies in a tiny apartment in New York, but she hand paints these beautiful sock blanks. And I've already knit up, the Statue of Liberty was right here in front of the rainbow, you guys. I've already knit the Statue of Liberty into my socks. I think my husband thinks I'm a little bonkers. He doesn't understand why I'm knitting this beautiful thing. And my boss said I was ruining it. But look at these rainbow stripes. Look how the rainbow is actually becoming a rainbow. These are getting really close to the heel, so I'll definitely want to stop and do that very soon. There's nothing else in this bag of interest to show you, sorry. Just checking. So I have those, and those are on some Leica size 32, size 2.25, 32-inch needles, fixed circulars that I picked up at Vogue. I had actually pre-ordered that, so when I was adding up my purchases just for myself so I would know, I like to keep track of how much I spend when I go somewhere festival-y. I took a set amount of cash this time because I had kind of a finite budget. And I was really happy to stick with that, but I did not count that particular project because I had paid for it in advance. I just had to pick it up on Friday and I was so excited to get it. And I've been posting Instagram pictures of its progress. And I got a few goodies. I have a basket. This is one of those beautiful handmade baskets from Guyana. And I have several, I'm sorry, there's crinkling. Let me nix the crinkle here. Okay. now there will be no more crinkling. So there were some dyers that were they're usually dyers that sometimes it's hard to make their updates online. Like there was some Junkyarn there, and I don't know how hard it is to buy ritual dyes. There were a lot of people there, you guys, but I have plenty of yarn. Various and sundry. This queue here, this one is all hand dyed, basically sock yarn. Of course you can make shawls or whatever out of it, but that's yarn that is socks or sock sets. This is my self-striping that is not in a gobstopper. The gobstoppers are up there. And then I have two, like this is all Lolodidit, and then I have a little bit more in a bin under there. That's sweater quantities I have of Lolodidit. I think I have two. But like, I have 4 skeins of Time After Time to knit. Parisian Dreams Pullover by Knitting Expat. I did not buy all 4 of those at one time. I bought them at different times, and of course they're hand dyed, so they'll be alternated. So I have sweater quantities up here for myself and my husband. This is all of this yarn is Cloudborn DK. So it's wool, it's 100% wool, but it was super affordable. And this is Rocco Vintage, yeah. Which if you watch Very Little, she's been knitting some sweaters out of that. I got that to knit a sweater for my husband as well. Anyway, on to Vogue knitting. It is wonderful. It is crowded. I got a terrible cold while I was there. So I did some shopping Friday. I walked around the marketplace a little tiny bit Saturday. I think I actually bought one thing Saturday, and then I don't think I even bought anything on Sunday. I did catch some yarn from the yarn toss, which I will share with you, but I digress because I was talking about hard to buy from dyers. Cat Sandwich was there, and she had so much beautiful yarn, and I was like, well, I cannot have it all. So I picked this colorway. Her label is adorable. Cat Sandwich. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sorry there's a glare, you guys. I really apologize. This is a gold stellina base, and the color is, well, it's her glitzy base, but it is nylon with superwash merino nylon gold stellina. Sorry, brain hard things. The color is Card Captor Sakura. Now, this color is beautiful, and the color is named after an anime something, as a lot of her colorways are. I don't watch a lot of anime. Doesn't mean I don't like her yarn. Her yarn is amazingly beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, I was listing pretty hard. But I got this one because I live in the Washington, D.C. greater metro area. And Sakura, cherry blossoms, we have a big cherry blossom festival here every spring. And these colors made me think of the cherry blossom festival. That is why I bought that. My current plan for this is to knit it. I would like to tell you I have a grand design and have picked a pattern already, but I have not, so I have not. The other vendor that I bought yarn from was Lady Dye Yarns, LadyDyeYarns.com. She's from Virginia. I did not know. And this is the colorway Beezus. And I'm so sorry. All I think about when I look at this yarn is My Little Pony, and I hope I did not insult her when I told her that. I believe this is based on the Beverly Cleary novel that has Beezus, and now the sister's name is escaping me, but if you've read Beverly Cleary as a child or an adult, you will probably be screaming it at me. That is fine. Please correct me. I'm good with that. Like I said, please correct me if you are familiar. Is it Beezus and Ramona? It's going to bother me now. Anyway, this is a 70% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 10% cashmere. No idea what I'm going to knit. But I'm going to try to knit it soon. I am trying so hard right now to knit the stash that I hoard. That superwash merino DK from John Arbon, I've literally been hoarding it, and for the longest I wasn't even looking at what might be knit out of it. I just hoarded it. I also got the same pin. I got the same pin for a reason. These are from, there we go. These are from Shelly Can. Shelly Can is also local to my area. And I only found that out recently. She's in Alexandria. So I did not know that when I lived there. And then the next thing I got, it's really kind of super exciting to me that this exists. And I'm so happy. I love when Geek to craft them all. I have stitch markers from her. Marsha is a beautiful, precious person. She sent me some fiber that she dyed because I was on Instagram. And I'm like, you need to send me some. And she's like, okay. I have a gorgeous glittery Wonder Woman necklace that she made that I have. And she usually shares a booth with Lexi Corp. And this year, Lexi Corp, who makes beautiful ornaments, if you know Knitting Daddy, I believe knit the Batman one. I have the Wonder Woman one up here. I've still not knit it, but I am now at a place where I think I can probably successfully knit it. But this is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Look at that. That is a Christmas ornament, or, you know, a feminine ornament. It's an RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg ornament. And she sells them in kits that has every single thing you need. And the best part is, she had 2 kits. She had a kit with crochet instructions to crochet the collar and thread, or really tiny yarn, or she has a little collar that looks good enough if you don't know how to crochet. I don't know how to crochet. So, ta-da. Got my RGB kit. It's going to live right here until, oh, it's actually called the RBG ball. Look at that. It's going to live right here next to my Wonder Woman ball until I knit them. I'm very, very excited to get that done. Do I have anything else I need to show you? I was going to talk about stash a little bit. Should probably save that till next time, because this is already like half an hour. I do want to talk about knit-alongs, because we need to have a knit-along. I have a box. I haven't found a home for this yet. It'll probably live up there. This box has minis from things that I have knit in it. So if I have a scrap that is fingering weight yarn, it goes up here. I have a basket in one of these cubes for non-fingering weight yarn minis and minis that came in sets that I have not yet knit with. This is a box. It's a Christmas box. It's a holiday box. I celebrate 2 holidays in the wintertime in my house. My husband is Jewish, so we celebrate Hanukkah in our own way. He lights candles, and I enjoy the lighting of the candles. And we eat delicious Hanukkah fried foods. He makes the best homemade latkes ever. And he says the prayers, and then we have Christmas because that is my holiday. I am a Christian, and I grew up with Christmas, and I love Christmas, so we have Christmas. These are Christmas yarns. I just realized that all but this one are Lolodidit. So this is Merry Gentleman. This is Hippo for Christmas. This is Cornucopia. This is Naughty Mrs. Claus in a fingering weight, because you've seen it knit up in worsted weight. And this, I believe, is Festivus. It is. It's Festivus. These are all the full skeins that will fit in here. My idea is to keep my holiday socks in this box after I've knit them. This one is by Suburban Stitcher, and this is Holly Jolly. And I gifted this color to my friend Mel when we did our first Advent swap. She and I did one this year, and we did one the previous year. The previous year was our first one, and so it was awesome. And so I think she's already knit her Holly Jolly socks. I haven't. I'm terrible. I have 1, 2, 3. I think that's all. 3 self-stripers in here that are holiday yarn. I have 3 skeins of Hanukkah sock yarn. I have some Halloween sock yarn. I have Harry Potter yarn that I think could count as Halloween or Christmas yarn. I have some Harry Potter themed yarn that is Christmas yarn, but it's a specific Yule Ball colorway. And my proposal to you is this. There are all kinds of holidays. Spring holidays, winter holidays, fall holidays. And I want to have a holiday knit along. I would like for it to go all year. You can pick the current holiday, like in my house this spring there will be a Easter holiday and a Passover holiday. And coming up is Valentine's Day. We're going to count Valentine's Day as a holiday. St. Patrick's Day is a holiday. If you have themed yarn for a holiday, or themed yarn that you can work as holiday yarn, colors that make you think of a holiday, or a pattern that is a holiday theme, we're gonna have a year-long holiday cowl. So whether it's specific holiday to you, like it's Valentine's Day yarn, like I have some Love, True Love, which is a holiday colorway that no makers used to do. I have that in my socks in here. It's in there. Like I could knit that and I could enter it. If I just had some red yarn and that said Valentine's Day to me and I wanted to knit it, that works. If you have red, white, and blue yarn and you want to knit it for Labor Day or 4th of July, if it's a holiday to you or a holiday colorway, or you're knitting them to wear on a holiday, by the way, your birthday is totally a holiday. Lauren completely had a hippo for birthdays last year. That counts as a holiday. May 4th, Star Wars Day. That's a holiday, guys. If you have themed inspired yarn for that day, for that holiday, you can knit it up. So I'm going to come up with a hashtag and I will put it on the screen, but it'll be probably your long holiday cowl 19 for 2019. I would love for you to join me. I don't currently have any prizes. I'm sure I can come up with some for you. I'm sure it will also be some sort of yarn or maybe a bag. If anybody would like to donate yarn or prizes for my holiday, your long holiday knit along, just shoot me an email, scrapfaire@gmail.com. I hope you will all play along with me and I hope you will enjoy it. It can be any project, any size, as long as it's for the holiday or with holiday yarn. So start knitting, people. Thanks so much and have a good day.